everybody, it's VerticalSandwich. Welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy X. We have a couple monsters to do. This is post-commentary because I was unsure of my ability to take care of these monsters. So, our first one will be the Neslug, I believe. Ugh, this thing just... Nightmare! Nightmare! Okay, the problem with this thing is once you do, I think, 2 million points of damage to it, it crawls into its shell and starts healing amazing amounts of life at a time. And then I think you have to do another 2 million damage to break its shell off of it. And then you've only got 1 million to go. You got to kill it pretty quickly. After that, it'll do some pretty nasty toxic effects to it. But we're just going to quick hit it and stuff to... Most people would actually, as a strategy, would use Waka maxed out and his attack reels, which can do, you know, like 800,000 a shot, I think. It might be 1.2 million a shot. You're close to 1.2 million a shot. But this was one of the ones I never did. I never got through this guy in my initial playthrough because he's so obnoxious. Now, you don't really have, I mean, doing the initial damage to him while he's out of his shell and still has his shell on is not a problem. That's not an issue. Once he goes into his shell, we'll be chaining Ultima. So there we go. Yeah, that initial heal of 100, don't be fooled by that. Blitzace might not have been a bad idea if we had been able to, if we had known he was going into his shell, and been able to get him with the last hit with Blitzace. We could have done a lot of damage going into the shell. Now, we may be chaining Ultima because he's immune to physical attacks. I'm not sure. Like, I don't remember. I don't have my walkthrough anymore, and this is post-commentary. So, yeah. We're going to get him. It's going to take some time. We're clearly doing more damage than he's healing. I know it is a little obnoxious watching an Ultima chain over and over and over and over, but strategy isn't always interesting and it's not always pretty. At least I didn't have to see he healed almost all of our second Ultima cast there. And Lulu is our real asset here. She's doing, you know, she's doing 130,000 a shot. If not 140,000. So there we go. That'll shut him up. I always forget where double cast is. So now we'll be back to right where we were. It should be pretty quick going once we knock him out of his, once we knock his shell off. Because that's what's going to happen. His shell is going to shatter. But we've got, you know, a good amount of time until that happens. Something like 5 more minutes. Because he's tough. He's not, you know. We're getting to the point where these monsters should be, you know, the kind of be-all and end-all of monsters. Although, the final one is in my opinion, like... And I'm not talking about the ultimate one when this whole thing is over. But the final one, which is Shinaru or whatever, is it's an underwater monster. And that's rough, because you don't, you know, if you've built up if you haven't built up the 3 underwater characters, that's an issue. He also has a tendency to eliminate characters from battle. Like, he has an ability that, and I know we're not doing that yet, but he has an ability where he turns people to stone and they shatter. It's a little rough. So yeah, endless Ultima, or nearly endless Ultima. In fact, I don't think, up until this playthrough, I don't think I'd ever seen him without a shell. Like, I had never gotten him to the point, because once you get him to the point where the shell breaks, like, this isn't much of a battle anymore. But he only has his innate healing ability now, so... Because we took away Kiraga from him, which is nice. But he has a sort of super regen, you know, naturally on him. It's kind of weird. It's not kind of weird. It's... So there we go. There goes his shell. And now he has kind of... So he stole a friend spear from him. That's kind of cool. And we could probably kill him before he gets a chance to attack. So it's not much of an issue. And there we go. One more down. The animations for these guys dying is pretty cool. Especially like him, he's an original creation. There's no optional boss that looks like him. There's no boss that looks like him. He's just something that like the programmers created specifically for the arena. It's really kind of cool. I don't know what Pendulum does, so as far as an item does. I think it's a customization item, though. Yeah, seems to be some use for this. I looked, and, you know, it didn't With 7 rename cards. It's another thing that you could probably use for weird customization, but... But it doesn't seem that, yeah, it doesn't seem that any of these, like... Oh! Master Thief. That's kind of cool. See, you learned something new. Even by watching your own videos, you learn something new. It steals only rare items. That's a cool ability, actually. So we hit the save sphere to refill our stats, and it's time to move on to the Ultima Buster. Shinryu, it looks like. Now, Ultima Buster uses the same design as Sin Spawn, clearly. And has essentially the same kind of setup. Not actually. I thought Neslug was harder. The issue with Ultima Buster, though, is the head. That you want to kill the head, but it's a range attack, so there's not a lot you can do without somebody with ranged weapons, which essentially is Waka. So his arms are reasonably easy to get rid of. One of the issues that I didn't think about when I was doing this was the fact that he doesn't have Waka is not hasted right now. It's kind of an issue. I mean, more than anything, you just don't want the double attack. Like right now, the head is listed as an attacker. It's listed as Monster A, I guess, but... So there we go, that's not so bad. And the head is clearly a little slower than... But it murdered Waka. It wasn't even messing around with how badly it beat him up. But that's okay. I mean, we can do a ton of damage before this thing gets a chance to attack again. So Gambler Spirits, which steal from this guy. At this point, it really doesn't. It doesn't make a lot of sense to do kind of anything except just hit him. Like, he's not that dangerous. Like, not when you're doing max damage every single... every single attack. So now that'll make Waka a little quicker. He can beat the crap out of the head here, because we are gonna have to kill it, I assume. He's like one of the only characters in the entire party that doesn't have a quick hit. So that would really help. So my solution to that is to pick an Aeon that I know can kind of do the damage. Although really at this level I could have picked, you know, they're stronger Aeons. I just didn't want to pick the Magus Sisters because they kind of break the fights. So there we go. That's all we needed. So, Ultima against my Birdman Aeon. Well, he's not a Birdman. He's just a bird. Or he's just a monster. I don't know. I don't know what he's supposed to be. So now we're back to regular stuff. And we've reset the turn counter. Because Ultima Buster got a chance to attack. It's nice that he did at least use Ultima once. So that we... But look at the breakdown of turns on the... Like, we're going to do millions of points of damage before he gets to attack again. And we're just getting him out because he doesn't have quick hit. It doesn't make any sense to keep him in. When we don't need him to hit a ranged target and he doesn't have quick hit. So it's just this. This is the fight right here. He's never going to get a chance to attack again. And I can see a million points of damage on the right-hand side right now, just queued up. And he may have as much as, you know, 6 million hit points. Maybe, possibly he could have 7. I don't think he does, but I suppose it depends on if you count the appendages and stuff. He should have more than Neslug, you would think, but he might not. Somebody can put it in the comments if they want. Well, he's got an attack coming up. I mean, if we ever get around to it. We won't, but... It's gonna be quick hits all the way to the end, I think. Yeah, it looks like. And Lulu gets the kill. That's pretty cool. Dark Matter, that's his rare drop. So, when we come back, we have one more monster to do before unlocking the final monster. I will see you guys for that, and bye, everybody.